The Jacksonville man convicted of raping and killing 8-year-old Cherish Perrywinkle is expected back in court tomorrow morning as he pushes for a new trial. Donald Smith is currently on death row. He says his counsel during his trial in 2018 was ineffective. We learned during a hearing last month that his primary defense quit. News4JAX reporter Ariel Schiller spoke with an attorney not associated with the case about what could happen during the hearing tomorrow.
A lot of people think that a jury's verdict is final and that brings finality to the case, and that's just not the case at all, especially not in these types of cases. In death penalty cases, the appeals process is extremely long.
It's been nearly 6 years since Donald Smith was convicted for the 2013 rape and murder of 8-year-old Cherish Perrywinkle. It's a case that Belkis Plata, a Jacksonville attorney not associated with the case, remembers well. She was working as a public defender at the time, specifically in sex crimes, when the Amber Alert for Cherish went out.
What sticks out to you when you think back on this case?
I think everyone was so hopeful that the police would find this little girl and that she would be returned to her family alive and well. And it did not happen that way. The tragedy of what happened to her, I think, is what has stuck with people all of these years. Knowing what that little girl went through, people want to seek justice.
The case will continue with an evidentiary hearing Tuesday morning. In a 78-page appeal filed last year, Smith has multiple claims, including that his lawyer was ineffective for failing to identify, interrogate, and strike a biased juror. He also claims that his lawyer didn't do a good enough job over things like failure to object to the 911 call and failure to object to digitally altered photographs. Plata says it's now up to his former defense attorneys to defend themselves against their former client through the prosecution.
The prosecution wants the conviction to stand firm, and therefore they're going to be the ones protecting his defense lawyers, basically taking up whatever issue Mr. Smith has and says, no, they did these things properly. So it's a very interesting dynamic and not one that we often see, but in these types of cases, things like this are anticipated.
Plata says a decision from Tuesday's hearing could take days or even months. In Jacksonville, Ariel Schiller, Channel 4, the local station.
The evidentiary hearing is tomorrow at 10 a.m. News4JAX will be in the courtroom with updates on News4JAX at noon and on news4jax.com.